אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאללה לי, יאללה לי, לה 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 לה, הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאללה לי, יאללה לה 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 לה.
Here we go.
הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. All right, welcome everybody who is here joining us in person, our wonderful congregation outside in our Schiffer Family Outdoor Terrace Chapel, and all of you who are joining us online, welcome. We, of course, could not be here at Temple Emanu-El without our member families like the Goldbergs, and this would not happen, surely, without the two of you, Ari and Jack. And so we are so glad to be joining you as you become bar mitzvah, each of you, together, b'nai mitzvah, for this amazing, amazing occasion. My name is Rabbi Max. I'm here with Rabbi Spike. And we just want to take a moment. You all are family, but you might not know each other. Go around and just wave hi, greet everyone, say hello, so that you can get to know everyone around there. Blow some kisses, yep. Very good. Yeah, this is going to be a family service because we're going to be singing. You can use la la la, as Rabbi Spike said. There's English, there's transliteration, there's the Hebrew, however you'd like to participate. We hope that you will join Jack and Ari so that we can make this a wonderful, warm, not hopefully in the temperature, but warm in spirit service, and we can have a lot of fun and a lot of meaning together this morning. If you, for some reason, need to use the bathroom, there are exits over there and right here, and our emergency exit over here down the steps to lead us out of the building, over the wings, yeah, in the back of the plane, all that, you got it. And we are just so happy to have everyone here joining us. You all have your red Sidurim to follow along. Online, you will have a Siddur pinned in the Facebook or Zoom feed, whichever you are joining on. And let's join back together with a little Hine Matov on page 4. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. All right, Jack and Ari, this is your time to take the bima, to head up to the table, to the amud. So I invite you now to head on up there and to join you, your parents, Jess and David, for the presentation of your talit. Now, adult Jews, there are several ways to identify us. One of them is by the garments that we wear. Maybe it's a suit, maybe it's a dress, but we have, when we go into these special moments, we wear a special piece of clothing, a talit, that you receive as you become bar mitzvah. And so now, to give you that honor of wearing your bar mitzvah talit, your parents will read this blessing for us on page 5.
As this talit is draped around your shoulders, may the voices of the generations speak to you. May you know that there is a people, a rich heritage to which you belong, a sacred place from which you are connected to all who dwell on earth.
As you are embraced in the folds of this talit, so too are you wrapped in the loving embrace of your family, community, and this holy congregation. May the simplest of garments always be for you a symbol of God's abiding and sheltering presence. As you recite the blessing and wrap yourself in this talit, we proudly watch and celebrate with you as you accept your place in the chain of our tradition.
So these talitot are no normal talitot. These are made from the tithes of the men in the family. And their grandfather, their great-grandfather, fathers, uncles all gave tithes to make this talitot. It was sewn together by a dear family friend, Marissa George. And the tzitzit were blessed and knotted by Jack and Ari's mother, Jessica. And so as you take this, you are literally wrapped in the embrace of family and tradition. Very good. All right. Jack, why don't you say the blessing first for the talit?
Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tivanu lehitatef batzitzit.
Amen. Ari.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tivanu lehitatef batzitzit.
Amen. And there are special moments like these where we give thanks to God for helping us to arrive at this occasion. We join together in a Shehechianu, a prayer giving God gratitude for such amazing things. We join together, page 5. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Shehechianu v'kimanu v'hegianu lazman hazeh Amen.
Hugs and kisses. This is a touchy-feely service, so anytime it's remotely appropriate to do it, please do so. We're going to continue on page 6. I'm just going to remove your presence. Good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay.
All right. God be with me on this occasion of my bar mitzvah.
Help me make meaningful the covenant you now establish with me.
Sustain me with a sense of holiness. Inspire in me a desire to be special.
I do not ask that you make my life easy, resolve my problems, map out the directions of my life.
I ask only that you strengthen within me the desire to mold and shape my life in accordance to your will.
In this hour of my bar mitzvah, I invoke your blessings upon my parents and friends and all who have loved and cared for me and have brought me to this time of gladness. Give them joy and fulfillment in my growth and my achievement. You who turn the hearts of children to their parents and the hearts of parents to their children.
Beautiful.
Amen.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, guys, in a moment, you're going to lead us in Nesim B'chol Yom. These are the prayers that begin on page 7. And the congregation responds with an amen in between. So each of these, Jack and Ari, each of these blessings are meant to be taken literally and figuratively. So when we thank God for opening up the eyes of the blind, right, there's a literal piece of this. There are some people who are without sight, and whether it's through, random chance or medicine or technology, right, that they are able to get sight, right, but there's a source of all of that. So that's the literal piece, but also figuratively, there are people who are blind to the ways of the world, to what's right in front of them. And sometimes it is as if there's a miracle when they are able to see. So each of these prayers is meant literally and figuratively. What I'm going to ask everyone to do is, as we're going through, take a look at which one of these morning blessings has your name on it. Which one is speaking to you this Shabbat morning? Okay, guys, you're going to begin, and Jack, you'll jump in when you're ready.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan l'sach v'vina v'v'chen ben yom v'ben layla.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam pokeach ivrim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zokev kefufim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, roch haaretz hamayim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamechin mitzadei gaver.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, malpish harumim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hanatin la'ef koach.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamavir shnai me'inai, utzumame afapa.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani b'tselem Elohim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani ben korim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani Yisrael.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, atzir Israel b'gvura.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, otir Yisrael b'tifara.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher k'dashanu b'mitzvotav, v'tivanu la'atzot b'ivrei Torah.
Amen. So let's take a second, as if I was going to call on you. Which one of these, to our congregation, which one of these blessings most is speaking to you this morning? Which one has your name on it? Take a look. Anybody want to share? Which one of these morning blessings most speaks to you this morning? Okay, please share. Who gives strength to the weary, and why is that speaking to this morning? So when you're weary, yeah, Jess, pass the mic. That's great. When you're weary, right? That sometimes we derive strength from God, right? That our own ability and power is limited, but if we can open ourselves up, there's an unlimited, warm, nourishing motivation that can bring us from where we are to where we need to
Very
be.
much.
What's your name?
My name is Sydney.
Sydney. Way to go. Way to start us off. Yeah,
I have
Ari.
one. It's the one that says who lifts up the fallen. And I agree with this because if you fall, in my opinion, if you fall down, you'll always get right back up. And
Yeah.
I think God will help you with that.
Great, Ari. Okay, tell me your name.
Asher.
Asher. All right, Asher, hit it.
Okay, so the one that speaks to me the most is who removes the sleep from the eyes and slumber from the eyelids. And this is in a much more literal sense where I just kind of realized how lucky I am to have been given the ability to be able to wake up in the morning and get ready to start the day without having too much difficulty once I wake up.
Asher, right on. Right on. And a big part of a religious life is being able to recognize with gratitude the things that are happening, including that each day we have the chance to begin again and start again. Others. How about this side of the congregation? You go, okay, go for it. Hang on, let's get them. Okay, Jess is going to play Donahue. Come on over here.
I'd like to be Oprah,
Oprah.
Rabbi.
You get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car.
You get a mitzvah. You get a mitzvah.
Good morning.
Tell us your name.
I'm Patty.
Patty, okay.
The one that would speak to me would be the blessed are you, the eternal our God who clothes the naked. I think especially during COVID, we all felt like alone and vulnerable. But God wraps us in his arms and we're never really truly alone.
Yes, very good. Very good. Deep. Okay, Jack, you're up.
Yeah, I got one.
Hit it.
Oh, this isn't on. Mine one is blessed are you, the eternal our God who gives strength to the weary. I think I relate to this because when people are down, or when people don't have a lot of strength, there's always God who can lift you back up and help you recover from hard times.
Yeah, I think we all have those times, right? Where
Yeah.
we are spread really thin and feeling really down, and what is it that gives us the strength, the nourishment, the inspiration to get up again?
Yeah.
All right. Any others? And tell us your name, sir.
Michael,
Hey, Michael.
I'm reading the one about thanking God for making us a Jew because I'm thinking back to 40 years ago when Davey and I were training together for our bar mitzvah, and to watch the boys do it today, showing the continuity of our people, feels fairly special.
Yeah, and that's from that corner of West Virginia, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and that's, when Cole was king, there was a lot
still
going
was
on
that
there.
way.
I know, I
Yep.
know. All right. Beautiful. Thanks for sharing. All right, just want to make sure we're not leaving anybody out. Everybody good? Jess or Dave, you wanna say anything? All right. Okay, good. All right. So, friends, we're going to continue on page 13 with a responsive reading. Ari's going to lead us, and what that means is when you see the italics, we're all going to join in and give our energy to Ari and Jack, and they're going to return it to us like a light shining between two mirrors.
Nature is God's nigun, a wordless melody of unfolding life. To awake to God, we must listen in deep silence. Silence arises when thinking ceases. If we would know God, we must quiet the mind. Cease the chatter that passes for knowledge, when in fact it only flatters the foolish. We can't live without words, but let us not imagine that words are significant. As a symphony needs rest to lift music out of noise, so we need silence to lift the truth out of our words.
Beautiful. And continue on the next piece.
I think I read the wrong one.
That's
guys.
all right.
That's okay. It was a nice piece.
It's a nice piece.
May the doors of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love and all who are lonely for fellowship.
Together,
May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture.
May the doors of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride.
May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet.
May it be too high to admit indifference, selfishness, and harshness.
May this synagogue be for all who enter the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. Beautiful. We're going to rise for the Baruch, everyone, on page 15. The Baruch signifies that we are ready. Hineni, put us in, coach. We are warmed up and ready to go.
You can
put your hands together if you like.
Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach.
Here we go. We bow.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
So, Jack, in a moment, you'll lead us on Yotzer Or on page 15. Not quite yet, though, because your friend, Asher, is it? Asher?
Yes?
Yes, Asher. Asher made a good point about the gratitude, and this kind of leads into our Yotzer Or prayer, that in Judaism, we have this idea with this morning prayer, this Yotzer Or prayer, that every day that we wake up, we can be grateful for creation, a once upon a time creation, but also the chance that we get a chance every day to create ourselves anew, to create our family life anew, our home anew, our environment anew, that we are not locked in to what happened yesterday or last month or last year. Every day we have a chance for Yotzer Or to embrace the new day and the life that we make. Jack, will you lead us, Yotzer Or, on page 15?
Yes, sir. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Yotzer Or uvarei choshech osei shalom uvarei et hakol. Hameir la'aretz v'la'arim aleha barachamim uvtuvo mechedesh b'chol yom tamid ma'aseh ve'reshit. Ma rabu ma'asecha Adonai chulam b'chochma asita ma'a ha'aretz kinyanecha. Tit barach Adonai al shev Eloheinu al shevach ma'aseh yedecha v'al me'orei orshe asita yafarucha selah. Or chadash al tzion ta'ir v'nitzkei chulanu meherel le'oro baruch atah Adonai yotzer ha'ma'orot.
Amen. Amen. And in a moment, Ari, you're going to lead us in Ahava Rabbah on page 16. Ahava Rabbah literally translates as great love or abundant love. And it's talking about two things, okay? One is that in the long list, Ari and Jack, of the people who love you, and many of them are here right now. You can wave to these guys, right? And when you wave to them, you're showing your support, right? Both in person and online. In the long list of folks who love you, God is on that list. Whether God is first or in the middle or towards the end of the list, God's on that list abundantly. The second, of course, is it talks about God's abundant love for the Jewish people. Now, it doesn't mean that God only has love for the Jewish people, in the same way that your mom and dad have two sons, two children, who are very different from each other, right? Each one amazing in their own right, but very different from each other. And the love that mom and dad have for you, Ari, doesn't at all hinge on the love that they have for Jack, and vice versa, Jack, right? Remember Toy Story, To Infinity and Beyond? That's how much love your parents have for each of you. So, to infinity and beyond, there's so much to go around for each of you. And it's the same way with God and each of us, and God and the Jewish people. So, Ari, will you lead us in Ahava Rabbah on page 16?
I sure will.
Okay.
Ahava Rabbah al Tanu al Nai Eloheinu, Chema Gidola Vitera Chamota Aleinu, Ba'avur Avotenu V'imotenu, Shebachu V'cha. Ba'avur Avotenu V'imotenu, Shebachu V'cha, Fatamden Hukain Chain, Kain Techladenu Utznamdenu. Ham Rachem Rachem Aleinu, V'tem V'libenu L'chavin L'chaskil. Wishmoa ala mod ala made. Wishmor vo asot o kayem et kol divra tamut tortecha ba'achava. Barchatalnai hamacher ba'amo Yisrael ba'achava.
Amen. Well done. All right. So, as we transition to Shema, page 18, this is a time when we collect all of those things: creation, the love, the signs, the sights, the sounds of this beautiful space. And as we sing these words together, we feel our feet on the ground. We open our ears not only to the songs of around us, of the people, but also the songs of the birds who are joining us in prayer as we join together in Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'em.
Yeah, in a moment you're going to lead us in Ahava Rabbah.
Via Hafta.
Via Hafta, that's right, on page 18. So Via Hafta is the second part of the Shema prayer. And this prayer, ostensibly, within it asks a question. And the question is, when is it that we are supposed to be our very best selves? When are we supposed to do the right thing? When is it that we're supposed to be God and Jewish oriented? And the answers that come in this Via Hafta prayer at the surface seem very simple. When you're sitting down, when you're standing up, when you're at home, when you're on the way. In other words, always. That seems like a good answer until we think about it. Always? It's very hard to do anything mindfully and intentionally always. And so the Via Hafta reminds us that there's reminders. You're talis, your tzitzit, the mezuzah on the door of your house, the Judaica in your home, your Jewish community, right? All of these things and more are reminders that actually you can be the best that you can be. You can do that. That's the Via Havta on page 18. So when you guys are ready, would you lead us?
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם ושבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשכבך ובקומך ושרתם מאוד על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בעיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם
Adonai lechem emet. Okay, we're going to call up your cousins Jenna and Julia Zemmelman. You're going to come on up to the mic to lead us in the reading on page 19. You can unmask if you like.
Adonai our God, who took us out of slavery in Egypt, you made us free.
You were in the courage with which we overcame 40 years of desert wandering.
Even today, you are in hope that, like a beam of light, brightens the darkness of suffering and despair.
You are in the love that creates, protects, forgives.
Standing at the sea, we felt your goodness and your love, and we sang a new song to you, and still today we sing that song.
We praise you, Adonai, Redeemer of Israel. Micha Mocha, page 20.
Yai nai 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 yai nai nai yai nai 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 yai nai 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 yai nai nai yai nai 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 yai nai 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 Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai Mi kamocha ne'edar b'kodesh Nora tehilo tosefele Nora tehilo tosefele Yai lai Yai nai 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 yai nai nai yai nai 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 yai nai 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 yai nai nai yai nai 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 yai nai 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 nai. Sur Yisrael,
Please rise.
Ezrat Yisrael,
Please rise.
Ufadechinu mecha Yuda v'Yisrael, Go aleinu Adonai tzavaot shemo, Kedosh Yisrael, Baruch Ata Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael.
So in a moment, Jack and Ari, you're going to lead us in our Amidah, or standing prayer on page 21. And this standing prayer begins by invoking the names of the Avot and the Imahot, our four mothers and fathers. And as I'm looking at these amazing talises around your shoulders, right? They are the coolest. They are literally the coolest talises I've ever seen.
Thank you.
Yeah. And there's such meaning in those because it connects you back to the generations that have come before you. And that's, in a sense, how we entered this central standing prayer, this conversation. We're reminding God and ourselves that this is not a cold call, right? There's what's called a yichus. There's connection from your parents and grandparents and great-grandparents going way, way back. And so as we enter this conversation, you're doing it warmly, with a sense of knowledge and belonging, right? A sense of history and connection. Please lead us on page 21.
Adonai
Sefer tiftach ufiya gita hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Ha'gibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Romel Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei HaKol, V'zocher chasdei avot v'imahot, u'mevii geula livnei bneihem, leman shemo be'ahava, melech ozer u'moshiach u'magen. Baruch atah Adonai, magen Avraham v'ezrat Sarah, atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechayei hakol atah rav le'moshiach, morid hatah. Mechalkel chaim bechesed, mechaye hakol berachamim rabim. Somech noflim verofei cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato lishenei afar. Michal mochal ba'al gevurot, umido melach. Melech memit u'mechaye u'matzmiach Yeshua v'ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai mechayeh hakol.
We'd like to invite up your grandmother Donna Goldberg to lead us on page 23. And Donna, you can adjust that microphone a little bit when you get up there. Just kind of perfect.
Many are the ways of holiness, varied are its paths.
There is holiness when we strive to be true to the best we know.
There is holiness when we are kind to others.
There is holiness when we strive for harmony in all of our relationships.
There is holiness when people of different backgrounds work together for a common future.
There is holiness when people seek justice and struggle for righteousness.
There is holiness when people create lasting poetry or song or philosophy.
There is holiness when we forget what divides us and remember what unites us.
Holy, holy, holy is Adonai our God.
Kedusha, page 24.
Nikadesh et shimcha ba'olam, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמם, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוא כל הארץ, כבודו. אדיר, אדירנו, אדוני, אדוננו, מאדיר, שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהייך ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור נגיגו לך. לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור נגיגו לך. לנצח נצחים, קדושתך נקדיש, קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד.
Here comes your part.
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור נגיגו לך, לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור נגיגו לך, כי המלך גדול גדול וקדוש גדול וקדוש אתה, כי המלך גדול גדול וקדוש גדול וקדוש אתה. ברוך אתה אדוני
Baruch Shemo.
האל הקדוש.
Amen. And we can be seated. Jack, would you lead us on our responsive reading on page 25?
Sure. From of old, the Jewish people have seen Shabbat as a unique gift, a token of its covenant with God.
Shabbat is the most cherished creation of the Jewish spirit.
It mirrors the essence of the Jewish soul.
Shabbat has never been merely a day of rest from labor. It has always been a break in the routine of everyday life.
Shabbat is a symbol of liberation and triumph, of the holy over the profane, of spirit over matter.
In every age, Shabbat afforded the Jew a sacred retreat, a haven of safety, a fountain of new strength and perpetual renewal.
Shabbat nurtures family life in love and harmony. A home at peace welcomes Shabbat with joy.
Shabbat is part of nature's design, the very purpose of creation. All that was created attained its fulfillment in Shabbat.
Shabbat is
our hope. Even all the weary find rest. With the coming of Shabbat, redemption and peace enter the world. So as we get ready for Yismechu, I would ask all of the kids who are getting their bar and bat mitzvah credit by being here online with us to type into the Facebook feed, what are you joyful for this Shabbat? This is how we take our attendance. Let us know who you are and what you're joyful for this Shabbat. Friends, Yismechu, the joy of Shabbat, page 26.
Yismechu v'malechutecha shomrei 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 Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha shomrei 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 Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Aha mekadeshei mekadeshei shavit Shabbat. Kulam yisbehu ve'yitagnu mituvecha Shabbat. Yisbehu ve'malechutecha shomrei 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 Shabbat ve'korei oneg Shabbat. Yisbehu ve'malechutecha shomrei 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 Shabbat ve'korei oneg Shabbat. Uvashvi רצית בו וביקשתו שבת, חמדת ימים, אותו קראת שבת.
Hands together,
ישמחו ומלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת. ישמחו ומלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת. זכר למעשה וראשית שבת. זכר למעשה וראשית שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת.
I'd like to call up Grandfather Ray Gibson to lead us on page 27.
Our world is full of wonders and miracles, but all it takes is one little hand placed before our eyes, and we see nothing.
But miracles are all around us and within us. We are each walking miracles.
When we are bruised, what miracle heals us? When we see beauty, what miracle elevates us? When we hear music, what miracle moves us?
When we see suffering, what miracle saddens us? When we give and receive love, what miracle warms us? When we pray, what miracle renews us?
Every springtime is a miracle. Every snowflake is a miracle. The thoughts we think, the words we speak, the hopes we cherish, each is a miracle.
For all these miracles, may your name be exalted and blessed forever and ever. And then we're going to call up grandparents Ruth and Robert Levy to lead us on page 28.
Our God, we know there is no greater gift than peace. Help us to find the peace that comes from the love of your Torah.
Inspire us to banish hatred, war, bloodshed, and bigotry. Help us to establish forever one human family, doing your will in love and peace.
Help us to find peace in ourselves and among all people. O God of peace, bless us with peace.
You have given us the power, O God, to bring peace and justice into the world. May we always love peace and pursue it, and love our fellow creatures. Fill us with kindness, wisdom, and love. Then shall we learn to live in peace. Blessed is God, teacher of peace.
Sim shalom tova uvracha. Sim shalom tova uvracha.
Page 28.
Sim shalom tova uvracha. Sim shalom tova uvracha. Chen v'chesed, chen v'chesed v'rachamim. Chen v'chesed, chen v'chesed v'rachamim. V'rachamim. Sim shalom tova uvracha. Sim shalom tova uvracha. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Amecha. Sim shalom tova uvracha. Sim shalom tova uvracha.
We invite everyone for a silent moment or two of prayer, meditation, reflection, communion.
Say shalom bimroma, say shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
So David and Jess, the parents' blessing on page 31, these are words that have been lifted from the Talmud. It's an amalgamation of jewels from the Talmud. And those rabbis of the Talmud, aside from being great sages, were also parents. And so it is really wonderful that their words, their truest, deepest blessings for their own kids, get to be shared by the two of you on this occasion of your son's B'nai Mitzvah. Whenever you're ready.
May you live to see your world fulfilled. May your destiny be for worlds still to come, and may you trust in generations past and yet to be.
May your heart be filled with intuition, and may your words be filled with insight. May songs of praise ever be upon your tongue, and your vision be on a straight path before you.
May your eyes shine with the light of holy words, and your face reflect the brightness of the heavens. May your lips ever speak wisdom, and your fulfillment be in righteousness.
A Jewish home opens its heart, and its link to the generations is proclaimed. Today, our children, nearly grown, are called to read from the Torah and are welcomed into the congregation. May this moment be blessed.
Hug, hug, kiss, kiss.
Hug, hug, kiss, kiss.
All right, we will rise for our Torah service now on page 32. In just a moment, Jess, I will ask you to remove the Torah from the ark. Not quite yet, but just in a moment. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, Udevar Adonai mirushalayim, Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah, Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah, Le'amo Yisrael B'Kedushato. All right, David, you can pick up the Torah on the seat right there. Yep, that's right, you got it. And so, Jack and Ari, get between your parents.
What?
Jess and David.
Put your books back.
Put your books down. That's okay. Yeah, that's right. So, Ari and Jack, not quite yet. Not quite yet.
Oh.
You're gonna get it in just a second. I'm gonna let your parents hold it for a second. It's heavy. I want to make them suffer. So, the two of you have worked so hard to get to this point, and now you are here, surrounded by your parents, by everyone who loves you, and there are those who we are thinking of in this moment who we know are looking at you, and they are smiling from above at you. And we are blessed to have grandparents here, Robert and Ruth Levy, and Natalie and Ray Gibson, and Donna Goldberg. And we know that your grandfather, Jerry Goldberg, is watching with pride as the two of you accept your place in the chain of our tradition. So now, David and Jess, I will ask you to pass the Torah to your sons as they take literally the weight, but figuratively the weight of our people upon their shoulders as we say these words of Shema on page 33. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo, Gadlul Adonai iti, Unerom ema shemo yachdav. So Ari, you can pass the Torah back to your mom. Jess, you can put the Torah back in the ark and close the doors. And as we continue singing, David, would you please put the Torah down with Jack and undress it for our Torah service? Lecha Adonai hagedula v'hagevura v'hatiferet v'hanetzach v'hahod ki chol b'shamayim u'va'aretz ki chol b'shamayim u'va'aretz Lecha Adonai hamamlacha ve'amit na'aseh lechol erosh. please be seated. Jack, you have your spot? Good.
What?
You have your spot?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I
good.
do.
Good.
Just wait.
So Jack and Ari will be chanting from different verses in the Parashat Behar, and you will learn a whole lot more about Parashat Behar in just a few moments when they read their Devar Torah. But for now, we will hear these words that Jack has prepared from the Torah from Leviticus 25, verses 1 through 12. And for the honor of the first Aliyah, I'd like to invite up Jack's grandmother, aunt, and uncle, Natalie Gibson, and Joanna and John Zemmelman. Ya'amdu Natanya bat David v'Batya, Yochana bat Avraham Yosef v'Natanya, Yonatan ben Nachman v'Eliana, la'aliyah rishona. Step on up to the microphone. The blessings for the Aliyah can be found on page 34.
Baruch Adonai Hamevarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai
Hamevarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher b'charanu mikol ha'olamim v'nasan lanu es torso Baruch atah Adonai nosein ha'torah.
Amen. Jack, take it away.
Oh, okay. All right. Amen. Vayedaber Adonai el Moshe Bahar Sinai le'nemor Daber el bnei Yisrael v'marta alehem ki tavo'u el haaretz asher ani noten lachem v'shavtem haaretz Shabbat la'Adonai Sheish shanim tizra sadecha v'sheish shanim tizmor karmecha v'asavta et tevuata.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher nosan lanu Torah demes v'hayei olam nata b'toheinu Baruch atah Adonai nosein ha'torah.
Amen.
Thank you.
Air,
very
air
much.
hug and air kiss.
Oh, actual hug.
Air hug and air kiss. So from now on, please, air hug and air kiss, okay?
Okay.
That's part of our protocol.
Oops.
That's
You're
all
all
right.
right, you're all right.
There's a lot of love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. For our second Aliyah, calling up great aunt and uncle, Deidre and Jim Doria. Ya'amdu Devorah bat Verukam Yoel Chai ban Avraham le'aliyah shniya. Go ahead.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher b'karbanu mikol ha'amim v'nata lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
Secondly, okay. All right. Amen. Uvashana hashvi'id. Shabbat, Shabbaton yihye la'aretz. Shabbat la'Adonai. Sadecha lo tizra. V'charmecha lo tizmor. Et Sofiach kitzircha lo tikatzor. Ve'in ve'nezirecha lo tivtzor. Shanat Shabbaton yihye la'aretz. V'haita Shabbat ha'aretz lachem le'uchla lecha u'avdecha ve'la'amatecha ve'liv chircha u'toshavacha ha'garim yimach.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher nata lanu Torah emet V'chaye Elom Nata B'Tubenu Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Air hugs and air kisses. And just so everyone's not concerned, that's just the wind hitting the microphones. There's not thunder happening. All right, for the third Aliyah, proud parents Jess and David Goldberg. Ya'amdu Yocheved bat Robert Virut, David ben Avraham Yosef le'aliyah shlishit. No, your parents. Baruch Adonai Hambarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'charbanu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et toraso. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
All right. Amen. V'liv hemtzecha v'lachaya asher be'artzecha tihiyechol tevuata le'echol v'safarta lecha sheva shabtot shanim sheva pe'amim v'hayu lecha yamei sheva shabtot hashanim teshav arba'im shana v'ha'avarta shofar tru'ah b'chodesh hashvi'i ba'asor lachodesh b'yom ha'kippurim ta'aviru shofar b'choretzechem.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu toras emes v'chayei olam natah b'tzilchenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
All right. Hugs and kisses.
Can I really kiss him?
You can.
She's my mom. She's my mom.
All right.
Okay. Do I?
So now it's your time to become bar mitzvah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, Jack, I'm going to have you take a seat.
Okay.
David, you'll keep the yad right where it needs to be. Good? All right. So, Jack, this is the moment. Yep, got to get your talit right for this moment, yeah. This is the moment where we call you up. You Allah, you oleh. You go up to the bima as you take your place among the adults of our people, as you sing these words of Torah, teaching us all of your wisdom, or some of your wisdom that you will continue to teach throughout your life. And so it is my pleasure to invite you up to the bima for the aliyah of bar mitzvah. Yamod Yaakov Avraham ben David v'Yocheved la'aliyah bar mitzvah.
Clear space, please. Yeah. What? Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
All right, I'll go. Amen. V'kirashtem et shanat ha'chamishim shana ukratem deror ba'aretz l'chol yeshveha yovel hi tihiyeh lachem v'shavtem ish el achuzato v'ish el mishpachto tashuvu yovel hi shana ha'chamishim shana tihiyeh lachem lo tizra'u v'lo chikasaru et safilcheha v'lo tivzaru et nazireha ki yovel hi kodesh tihiyeh lachem min hasadeh tuchlu et tevuata.
Beautiful.
All right, closing blessing.
Oh yeah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Yashar koach. May you have strength. You can now sit down. Yes. Ari, now it is your time to come up. Ari will be chanting from chapter 25, verses 35 through 46. And to call them up for the first Aliyah, family friends who are aunt and uncle by love, Michael and Cookie Glasser. Yamdu, Michael ben Yosef v'Shira, Shira bat Chaim v'Devora, la'Aliyah Rishona.
Ready? Baruch Hu es Adonai HaBarach.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'nasan Lanu Es Torato Baruch Atah Adonai Nosein HaTorah.
Amen.
V'chiyamuch achicha v'mata yado imach v'hechazak tabo ger v'tashav v'hai imach atika me'itov neshech v'tarbit v'arei tamel hecha v'hei achicha imach et kaspecha ontintein wo beneshech marbit v'titein al chulecha.
Beautiful.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Nasan Lanu Torah Samet V'chayei Olam Natah B'Sachenu Baruch Atah Adonai Nosein HaTorah.
Amen. Thank you very much. Air hugs and air kisses. For the second Aliyah, Jess's friends who are the aunties, yes, Wendy Dell, Sharon Broadway, and Ingrid Garrow. Ya'amdu, Zalata Yehudit bat Baruch ve'Bela, Sharon bat Yaakov ve'Rachel, Ilana bat Sholem ve'Altalea, le'Aliyah Shniya. Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato Baruch Atah Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher Hotzeti Etchem me'Eretz Mitzrayim Atetzrachem et Eretz Canaan U'Hiltrachem Elohim V'chiyamuch achicha imach min Merkalach Otavod bo avodat aved Kasachir katashav v'hila imach Ashana tayavel ya'avod imach.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Natan Lanu Torah Emet V'chayei Olam Notah B'Eloheinu Baruch Atah Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Amen. Wonderful job. For the third Aliyah, proud parents once more, Jess and David. Yamdu, Yocheved bat Robert Verut, David ben Avraham Yosef, le'Aliyah Shlishit.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato Baruch Atah Adonai Nosein HaTorah.
Amen.
V'yatzah me'imach u'anav imo V'shav el mishpachtov Ve'al achuzat avotav yashuv Ki abadaichem Asher hotzeti otam me'eretz Mitzrayim Wo yimakru me'im keret aved Otirdeh bo befarech ve'yareita me'elohecha.
All right.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher natan lanu Torah Emet V'chayei Olam natan b'tochenu Baruch Atah Adonai Nosein HaTorah.
Amen.
Hugs and kisses. All right. Ari, this is your time to have a seat. Make sure the yad is right where it needs to be. Good. And Ari, this is a moment long waiting for as you become bar mitzvah. Well, there's only a pandemic in between. Yeah. As you become bar mitzvah, taking your place among the adults of our congregation, it is my pleasure to call you up to the Torah. Yamod habar mitzvah. Aryeh Lev ben David v'Yocheved la'aliyah habar mitzvah.
Baruch Adonai Chamvara.
Baruch Adonai Yamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Chamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar banu mikol amin v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
V'avdecha v'amatecha asher yihulach me'et hagoyim asher sivotechem v'hem tiknu eved ve'ama ve'gam Ibnei hatoshavim hagrim imachem mehem tiknu imimishpachtam asher imachem asher holidu bartechem v'hayu lachem achuzah yitznahatem otam v'nechem aharechem areshe achuzah Olam bachem ta'avodu v'nechem bnei Israel ish b'achiv otir debo befarech.
Esher koach. Amen. Just one more blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayolam natan tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yesher koach.
Beautiful. All right, stay right up there, Ari, and Jack and Jess, come on up as well. Friends, I'm going to ask everyone to rise. We are so proud of both of you. So proud of both of you. So we are going to give you a special Misha Berach blessing for your continued spiritual development. And the hope is that this day and the months leading up to this day act as a spiritual cornerstone for you, Ari, for you, Jack, for you to always be able to find as you look back, but also push off of as you go forward. We'll do it twice, Hebrew and in English. Ari first. And actually, let's do this. David and Jess, will you put a hand on Ari's shoulders? All right. Mishaberach Avotenu Vimotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah Hu Yavarech Et Aryeh Lev Ben David v'Yochaben Shehagia lemitzvot le'ala leTorah Hakadosh Baruch Hu Yismeirehu v'chayehu v'chonan et libo liyot shalim Adonai Elohav Lagot leVatorato lelecha bidrachav v'lishmor mitzvotav v'yimsechen v'seichel tov v'nei Elohim v'adam v'nomar Amen. May God, who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless you, Ari, who's come up for an aliyah upon the age of mitzvot. May the Holy One guard you and sustain you, helping you to be wholehearted in your faith, studying God's Torah, walking in God's ways, and fulfilling God's mitzvot. May you find favor before God and all people. Let us say,
Amen.
Amen. Okay, now, parents, a short hand on Jack's shoulders. You can just do a reach around there, whatever works for you. All right, Jack, you ready? Mishaberach Avatenu Matenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah Hu Yavarech Et Yaakov Avraham Ben David v'Yochaben Shagia lemitzvot le'ala leTorah Hakadosh Baruch Hu Yismeirehu v'chayehu v'chonem et libo lihiyot shalem im Adonai Elohav Lagot b'Torako lelecha bidrachav lishmor mitzvotav v'yimsechen v'seichel tov be'enei Elohim v'adam v'nomar Amen.
Amen.
May God, who blessed our forefathers and foremothers, bless you, Jack, who's come up upon for the aliyah in the age of mitzvot. May the Holy One guard you and sustain you, helping you to be wholehearted in your faith, studying God's Torah, walking in God's ways, fulfilling God's mitzvot. May you find favor before God and all people, and we say,
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Okay, we can be seated. And if you'll roll the Torah up and place the cover on top of it. creating a little bit of room as the guys have their Devar Torah coming up next.
I think we should put that on the chair.
On the chair?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah, why don't you buckle it up and.
Okay, good.
Jess, why don't you put the Torah cover all the way on top of it?
All the way.
Okay, yeah.
David, will you put the top on?
Oh, Devar. I swear the wind blows this way.
It's okay. Maybe if you're Steve. Voice.
And you can pick it up and just put it on the Torah chair.
You got it? No, I got it. Jessica will be the first person to knock over the door in 100 years.
So Jack and Ari have chanted from Torah beautifully, and no matter how many times you have been to a bar bat mitzvah, make no mistake, what these guys just did is hard. It is hard. There is so much work that goes into being able to do that, to, learn how to read a language that you don't natively speak, and then learn the chanting, the trope that goes with it, which is unique to each line, memorizing that, and then reading it from the original, on the original scroll, without any of the vowels or the cantillations. It's a tremendous achievement.
An extra year's worth, actually.
Great. And we all benefit from it. We all
And you
benefit
make it look
from
easy.
So now what these guys are going to do is they're going to give us a drash. They're going to give us their interpretation of the parts that they have read, and in doing so, put these sacred words, the sacred narrative, through the lens that is uniquely each of them, they together as brothers, and we as a sacred community. So guys, whenever you are ready.
Okay. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
and
Shalom.
And good morning. Thank you for being here on this very special day for us as we both become men and affirm our Jewish identities. Our Torah portion is Bahar from the book of Leviticus. Bahar has two important themes, the sabbatical and jubilee years, and laws regarding the treatment of the poor. The first part of the Torah portion talks about the sabbatical and jubilee years. At this time in our history, most Jews were farmers. The people are told that for 6 years they can plant their fields and gather any crops from the land at harvest time. But in the 7th year, the land has a Sabbath year of complete rest. During the 7th year, called the sabbatical year, people don't work on the land. However, anything the land produces on its own, like wild berries or grains, is free to be eaten by the landowner and his slaves, laborers, and farm animals.
Every 50 years is a Jubilee year, when all land or properties that Jews bought during the 49 previous years are to be returned to the original owner, and all slaves are to be released so that they can return to their own lands. This is an early example of social justice because it ensures that over time, no one becomes too economically powerful or weak. The scales are reset, and any imbalance in wealth is fixed at least every 50 years. The Torah portion goes on to describe commandments from the treatment of his fellow Jews, and particularly the needy among them. Jews are instructed not to wrong one another. If a Jew is reduced to poverty and is forced to sell his land, then family members such as a brother or uncle must buy the land from the purchaser if they can. And
The seller of the land.
and the seller of the land has the right to repurchase the land from the purchase later on if he can't afford to do so. And if a fellow Jew is forced to become a slave due to being in debt, he is not to be treated as a slave but as a hired laborer, and he and his children shall be released no later than the next Jubilee year. If a fellow Jew becomes a slave of a non-Jew, his family members shall have the right to buy his freedom. And if a Jew falls into debt, his fellow Jews are not to be charged interest on any money or food provided.
Helping the poor is something Judaism really values. The rules in our Torah portion concerning the treatment of the poor, together with the release of slaves and return of ancestral lands at the Jubilee year, ensure that Jewish people will lessen inequality at least every 50 years, and that we will treat the needy with compassion and respect until that time.
Even though we don't have slaves anymore, the overall concept of treating workers fairly is still important today, because society only works if we respect one another. Also, even though many of the laws in Bahar were said to apply only to the treatment of fellow Jews, I think these laws should be applied more universally to all people. In the modern world, Jews and non-Jews live together with people of many different backgrounds, and we need to treat each other with the same respect and compassion regardless of religion or other differences.
And it's still important to have systems in place to help people who are poor, because even in our modern times, there are still a lot of people in need. It seems unfair that we live in such a rich country with many people who are millionaires and some even billionaires, and still many kids don't have enough food to eat. I think we need to work harder to help the poor around us. For people that can afford to donate money, that's one way to help the poor. People can also volunteer their time and everybody can treat others with respect. It costs nothing and it makes the world a better place. I challenge each of us to be respectful and to come up with our own ways to make the world a better place.
For our mitzvah project, we volunteered at Solidarity Sandy Springs, a food pantry that collects and distributes food for needy families throughout the Sandy Springs area. My brother and I collected food and donations from our neighborhood and delivered it to them. We also volunteered there, making packed meals and giving them away to adults so that they could feed their children. In one day, we managed to give out meals to over 150 families and put smiles across their faces.
And ours.
This relates to our Torah portion because, just like the Jubilee years, our volunteering helped needy families with surviving, and both systems help the poor survive during these difficult times. Becoming a bar mitzvah means that we are now treated as adults and leaders in the Jewish community. Being an adult comes with both privileges and responsibilities. As a Jewish adult, we are expected to honor Jewish laws, fully participate in religious holidays such as Yom Kippur, and be a good role model for others. My brother and I plan to remain involved in the Jewish community and lead the best lives that we can. And we both really look forward to going to Israel in the next few years and learning more about our Jewish heritage. Preparing for our bar mitzvah has probably been one of the most challenging times of our lives. My brother and I started preparing in late 2019. By that March, we were ready for our bar mitzvah and to finally become men. Around that time, we heard in the news about a strange new virus that was making people sick across the world, and suddenly we were in lockdown. I was thinking at this time, hey, coronavirus will probably be over by then, and that means we get more time to practice. What could possibly go wrong? Our bar mitzvah was delayed not once, but twice, and finally, here we are standing on the bima after a year of waiting. We received so much help and support in getting to this day, and we really want to recognize and thank those people who helped us. To start off, there are two very special people we want to thank, and without them, we wouldn't be on this bima today, or actually breathing that matter. Mom, thank you for supporting me throughout my life and helping me become the man that I am today. You've always picked me up when I am down, and you inspire me to be a better person and a better Jew. You have always encouraged me to do well in school, to make the worst things in life seem better, and to embrace Judaism and the fun and responsibility that comes with it. You have also taught me to be nice and caring and stand up for myself, and for that I say thank you.
Mom, thank you so much for always supporting me, no matter how hard times can get. You always make special occasions amazing and fun. People say that you and I are a lot alike, and that makes me happy. I think they mean that I'm creative and kind, like you, but also, thanks for my striking good looks. I'm a proud mama's boy.
Dad, thank you, Dad, for being the best dad I could ever ask for. You are always there when I need you, whether it's doing schoolwork or talking to girls, and you support my hobbies and also find an interest in them. You are very smart, funny, and strong, and I really like to watch sports and movies with you. I also like to thank you for helping me become a stronger person mentally and physically.
Dad, Dad, you are so loving and kind. You always make what's important to me important to you, and I appreciate it so much. You are the smartest person I know, and I appreciate your help with my schoolwork. You almost never get mad at me when I don't understand what you're saying. Thank you for being so supportive and encouraging of my music and hobbies. Not only that, you built me an entire stage in my music room. Oh shoot. I don't know any dads who would have done that. It's completely awesome. I love that we share a deep appreciation of good movies and music, and I also love that you let me watch movies that Mom doesn't approve of. Haha, Mom. Haha. So, thank you.
Jack, I used to think that you were very weird and annoying. And he still is. But I really want you to know that you are an amazing little brother that truly cares about me and the people around you. You are a very creative artist. You are always there when I need you. And even though it's loud and annoys me when I'm in the basement with you, you're an amazing drummer with great potential to go far. And for that, I say thank you.
Ari. I know sometimes I can be a little annoying. And I can play my drums pretty loud, knowing it annoys you. But I want you to know you are an amazing big brother. You are always there for me when I need you, and you help coach me in basketball, even though I'm not really that good. And you include me in a lot of stuff you do, so thanks, bro.
You're welcome. Rebecca and Joanne, thank you both for helping Jack and I prepare for our B'nai Mitzvah. You are very caring and patient when we didn't understand something, probably because we procrastinated a lot. Anyway, you didn't complain when our lessons stretched on for an extra year due to COVID. We were both nervous about the idea of learning so much Hebrew and reading from the Torah, and you helped us feel confident and prepared and comfortable to be on the Bima, and for that I say thank you.
Miss Blick, thank you for being so supportive of us and helping us embrace our Judaism. You make religious school fun and treat us all with such respect. You encouraged me to play my djembe, which is an African drum, just so you know, during the tefillah, and always gave me a quiet space to chill when I needed time to collect my thoughts. You make religious school fun and treat us all with respect. You care so much about all of us. Thank you for all that you do. Cantor, thank you so much for helping us prepare for this big day. You taught us how to chant prayers and also how to become better speakers. And we appreciate you always encouraging us to use music to connect to our Judaism.
Rabbi Spike, Jack and I can both agree that you have the coolest rabbi name ever. Thank you. You always encourage us to think and question what we don't understand. We have enjoyed seeing you on Sundays and our many conversations about current events and how they relate to Judaism. You meet us where we are and encourage us to be the best that we can. And for that, I say thank you.
Rabbi Max and Rabbi Rachel, thank you so much for helping us prepare for our B'nai Mitzvah and for teaching us so much about Judaism. You've always encouraged us to be ourselves and feel confident about who we are. And most of all, thank you for being so much fun.
I also want to give a huge thanks to Temple Emanu-El, Camp Barney Medits, and the JCC for allowing me to learn about Judaism while having fun and making friends along the way. They have made a significance in my life, and I could not have thanked them enough. They have allowed me to make new lasting friendships and make experiences that I surely will never forget. And for that, I say thank you. And finally, yeah, this is the last part of the speech. It's almost over.
You don't need to say that.
We want to give a huge thank you to all of our friends and family who have always been by our side. We know that some of you have traveled a long way from home and to be with us today, and we really appreciate that. We want to particularly thank our grandparents for being here. We are saddened that Papa couldn't be here with us today, but we know that he is watching us from above, and we know that he would have been super proud of us. And to everyone who has supported us on this long journey,
we say thank you. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Yep. Now it's actually it. That's yeah.
Thank you both
That's
so
all,
much,
folks.
guys. All right, we're going to rise to conclude the Torah service on page 39 with Eitz Chaim.
Thanks. Oh, what about the Haftorah?
We're going to get to that right afterwards.
Ooh.
Yeah, don't worry.
Oh, oopsie daisy. Did I just put my stuff okay?
Eitz Chaim hi lemachazikim ba betom hecha meushar deracheha darchei noam v'chol netivoteha shalom hashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva Chadesh Chadesh Yameinu Chadesh Yameinu Kekedem. Please be seated. All right, so now is the Haftarah. And this Haftarah, which is we've been connecting to Torah portions for thousands of years, was done by rabbis who existed in the time of the Second Temple and have continued when Jews have been under persecution and not been allowed to read Torah and study Torah. We have turned to the prophets, not because we wanted to add something more to what bar mitzvah students had to study, but because these portions of our prophets have a lot to add to our lives. And you will be reading from the book of Jeremiah, discussing the return of the Israelites from Bavel, from exile, and how they have to account for dealing with the sabbatical year. The blessings for the Haftarah can be found on page 36, and the concluding blessing is on page 37.
All right. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nviim tovim v'ratzav v'divreihem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habecher b'torah u'Moshe avdo u'Yisrael amo u'Viv'ei ha'emet v'tzedek. Perfect.
Good.
Now the Haftorah.
Now the Haftarah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Va'echtov ba'sefer va'echtom va'ed idim va'eshkol ha'kesef b'moznaim va'ekach et sefer ha'mikna echatu ha'mitzvah v'hachukim ve'et hagalui va'eten et ha'sefer ha'mikna El Baruch ben Neriah ben Machseya le'enei Hanamel Dodi le'enei ha'edim ha'kotvim b'sefer ha'mikna le'enei kol Yehudim ha'yoshvim b'chatzar ha'matara.
Do I go now?
Now you go.
Vatzaveh et Baruch le'eneihem Amor, Ko Amar, Adonai Sevot, Elohei Yisrael, Koach et Hatzfarim, Ha'ele et Sefer, Hamikna Hazeh, Ve'et Hechatum, Ve'et Sefer, Hagalui Hazeh, Unitantam Bichli Chares, Ma'an Ya'amdu. Yamim Rabim, Ki Cho Amar, Adonai Sevaot, Elohei Yisrael, Odikanu Vatim, Vesardoti Ukramim, Ba'aret Hazot. Baruch. Now time for the ending one.
Yes.
Baruch Atah Adonai Elohim El Chalam, Sorkol Ha'amim, Sadiq B'kol the road. Ha'el ha'ne'eman, ha'omer v'elseh, ha'leber u'makayem, she'kol devarav emet v'tzedek, al ha'torah, ve'al ha'avodah, ve'al ha'nevi'im, ve'ha'yom ha'shabbat hazeh, she'nantata lanu Adonai Eloheinu, v'tishavrinucha, le'chavod u'tifaret, al ha'kol Adonai Eloheinu, anachnu modim lach, u'varachim el tach, Yitbarash Mincha, Befi Kolchai, Tamid Le'adam Va'ed, Baruch Atah Adonai,
Baruch Hu, Baruch Shemo,
Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. Yesher Koach. Very well done. All right. So, Ari and Jack, this is, you can take a deep breath, like breathe in. You've delivered a Davar Torah that was excellent. Chanted your Haftarah, amazing. Your Torah portion, incredible. And now is an opportunity that we rabbis really love. And that is where we get to talk to just the two of you. And this is a moment where we get to bless you with the Torah by our side, with all of this loving family around us, the birds singing on this beautiful day as you two become men. And so my blessing for each of you, for Jack, there is something so fun, and I wish we only had more, we missed out on this year, about leading tefillah together over every Sunday school, every religious school. It was so much fun to play with you, to have you critique my ability to keep rhythm. I appreciate that. In the role of a drummer, as you should, but you helped me, and I helped you, and it was a lot of fun to lead together. And Ari, learning with you all the way from 6th grade through 8th grade, and now you're in confirmation, seeing how you've grown, seeing probably you were Patrick, right, for the Purim spiel?
I sure was.
Yeah, that was probably the best performance I've seen ever at a Purim spiel. Just owned the role of King Achashverosh, and you were amazing. And it's just been a pleasure to learn with you and to watch you grow, each of you, into the young men that you are today. And I am so excited for what the future holds for both of you here at Temple Emanu-El, and once you leave, sadly, these walls many, many years from now.
Yes.
I'd like to add, before I address each of you, I want to address your parents. Boy, you're feeling like adults at this moment, aren't you? With yeah. Because you can look back at when you got bar mitzvah and remember how old your parents were at that time, and they were real people. They were real people. Guys, your connection with this Jewish community doesn't come in a vacuum. Both of your parents are really involved, and their pride and connection and identity doesn't come in a vacuum either. I know both of your stories, David and Jess, and I know where you come from and how important Judaism and the Jewish community has been to each of your families, even before you met each other. And you should just be so proud, and we as rabbis are so thankful to each of you that you've continued with that passion and prioritizing what all of this means in the grand scheme of life, right? So thank you for that. And by the way, this is the result, right? You won. You won. We all won. Guys, I know that life is not always easy, right? It's not always easy for each of you. It's not always easy for me. Everybody has their challenges. And what I would like to highlight for each of you is that you got here today, both here for your bar mitzvah and here in terms of life, because you have serious strengths, each of you. And I would really, really encourage you that when you're not feeling great, to remember those strengths. There's a great story about one of our rabbis, I think it's the Chefetz Chaim, but if not, I'll be corrected at some point, who wrote 2 notes to himself. Okay? One note said, "The world was created for me." And the other note said, "I am nothing but ashes and dust." And he would walk around with those notes, one in each pocket. And when things were just not going well, when things were really, really low, he'd pick out that note that said, the entire world was literally created for me, for my purpose. And just to keep himself steady and even, when he was just flying high, sometimes he'd have to pull out that other one and bring himself down, knowing that life has its ups and downs, but knowing resilience, knowing how to lean on your strengths, knowing when to ask for help, knowing that you are neither of you alone, that you're very much held and loved by your family and your community that extends in expanding concentric circles away from the two of you at this minute, and not just today, going back hundreds of generations, and God willing, hundreds of generations forward. So the world is created for each of you. And in this moment, we revolve around you, and we are so proud of both of you. And with that, I'll ask everyone to rise, because we get to give you the priestly benediction, that blessing that Jewish rabbis have been giving our youth at moments like this, these seminal moments in time since time began as we know it.
Yivarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God's countenance shine upon you and be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May God's face turn towards you and grant you, Jack, and grant you, Ari, the greatest gift of all, what you have right now: confidence, your feet on the ground, surrounded by love, your whole life ahead of you, a sense of wholeness, completeness, and peace. And we all say, Amen. Okay, we can be seated unless you are Jack and Ari's mom and dad.
Can I say something for my parents?
Sure.
Does this service make you feel old yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
David, why don't you grab the handheld right there?
What?
Yep. Okay. Jack, I want you to take a look around the room and look into that camera because you have friends joining us and family joining us from all over the world or from all over the country via Zoom. Just take a moment and feel the love that is shining on you right now because there is so much of it. Okay, wow. You did it.
Yeah.
You rocked your bar mitzvah.
Yes.
Preparing for today hasn't been easy. You studied hard. You endured 3 date changes and a pandemic. You have taken every challenge presented to you, and you have triumphed.
Yay.
Since the day you were born, you have pushed boundaries.
Oh, you think?
You've added your unique flair, and you have crushed every goal set before you. You are passionate, creative, and driven. You can be a lot of fun and silly, but you can be very serious and very thoughtful. Your ability to see and create art astounds me. And your capacity for learning and recalling facts about subjects that inspire you completely blows me away. You use music to express your thoughts and feelings and frustrations and your joy, and it comes so naturally to you. I am in awe of your capability of channeling your passion into a format that is so functional and fantastic. My greatest hope for you is that you continue to use your gifts and talents to grow while always remaining centered to what is so authentically you. Jack, I am so proud of you today, not only for completely rocking your bar mitzvah, but for working so hard to achieve what's important to you and to your family today and every day. You are kind, responsible, thoughtful, and generous. You are a very, very bright light in this world. And I am so deeply grateful for the honor of being your mom. Thank you for showing your family and your community such respect today. Mazel tov, Jack. I love you.
You too. All right.
Thanks, Dad. Wait, what are you doing? No, I'm getting behind you. Okay.
Jack, congratulations. You did it. Your mom and I are so proud of the hard work you put into getting ready for this special day. You did a great job. This process of preparing to be a bar mitzvah, like many things in life, has had its share of bumps and bruises, including a 1-year delay. But despite it all, I hope you'll always remember what you did in preparation for today and how successful it was. I also hope you'll look around this room and remember the love that your family and friends have for you and the love and pride that I know Papa and your Tante Beth felt for you. You are a young man with many talents and interests. You play drums and guitar, you compose lyrics, you draw, do webcasts and music reviews, make videos. Your artistic ability and boundless creativity is fascinating for a left-brain thinker like me. Your passion for life and the everlasting smile in your eyes radiates and transfers to everyone around you. The other day, when we were standing in the kitchen, I noticed I was looking almost eye to eye to you. I realized that my baby boy is transforming into a man. Becoming a bar mitzvah is recognition of your transition to manhood under the Jewish tradition of our ancestors. On this special day, I wish for you that you always retain your zest for life, that you make it a priority to travel and make art and music that feeds your soul and fills you and those around you with happiness, that you will always seek to make Judaism a part of your life, and that you will always remember how much I love you.
So nice.
Ari Lev. All right, my turn. Your turn. Hold on. I've got to do this, baby. Ari. Okay. Ari, I'm going to tell you the same thing I told your brother. Look around the room. Look at everybody here. And look at the camera. Because you are surrounded by so much love. And we are all so very proud of you. Well, to say that we're proud is a huge understatement. You have taken every aspect of your bar mitzvah so seriously. You have studied both Hebrew and Judaics. You ask really meaningful questions so that you not only understand your Torah portion, you truly, truly led your community today with both words and with action. Since you were very little, about 2 years old, you've had an amazing ability to observe the world around you, set goals for what you want, and find a path to achieve those goals. Your path and your timeline have always been uniquely yours. I appreciate and admire your ability to help me and everyone who's close to you see things through your perspective. I have so much respect for how dedicated you are to achieving what's important to you. And sweet boy, you have only just begun. Ari Lev, you are kind, compassionate. You are my gentle giant. People describe you as being sweet and responsible, thoughtful, all very important qualities for a young man. Being your mom is my greatest joy. Our journey always hasn't been easy. There have been many times that we frustrate each other, and that just means we're doing our jobs. Right. My job is to love you and give you enough guidance so that you feel grounded and supported by a family who believes in you and that you understand what you're capable of achieving. Now, your job is to take that love and guidance and make it your own. Now, never stop growing and always be authentically you. Mazel tov, Ari. We love you dearly, and we are very, very proud of you.
Ari, as I said to your brother earlier, your mom and I are so proud of the hard work you put into preparing for this day. A day which, after 2 delays, we were all beginning to feel would never arrive. You did a wonderful job today. A little over 15 years ago, you were born, and in that moment, our lives changed forever. On that day, your mom and I became parents. Of course, we wanted everything to be perfect for you, but as we know, life is not perfect, and watching you navigate and overcome the challenges that life serves up has been so incredible for us to witness. The moments that I have watched your strong character develop, your natural curiosity about the world, your kind and gentle nature, the way you persevere toward achieving your goals and overcoming obstacles, and how you never complain about it. It's these moments that have brought us here today. Today, you have chosen to take your place in continuing the Jewish tradition of our family. Take great pride in your hard work and commitment that lead up to this moment. And always remember the love all of us in this room and watching in cyberspace have for you. The love and pride that I know Papa and Tanta Beth felt for you. Shortly after you were born, I planted an oak tree in our front yard. Both you and that oak tree are now significantly taller than I am. My wish for you today is that you continue to grow sturdy and strong like that oak, that you remain the kind and good-natured person you are, that you keep striving for and achieve the things that bring you happiness, that you stay curious and take advantage of opportunities to learn, that you continue to embrace your Jewish identity and look for ways to improve the world, and that you always keep a sense of humor and be able to laugh with others and at yourself, a very Jewish thing to do, and that you will always remember how much I love you.
Very nice. All right, so all the Goldbergs together, we are going to rise with them as you open the ark for us. As we begin to conclude our service with Aleinu L'Shabeach on page 40. Aleinu L'Shabeach Ladon HaKol, Latet Gedula Yotzer Breshit, Shelo Asanu Kegoyei Ha'aratzot, Velo Samanu Kamishpachot Ha'adama, Shelo Sam Chelkenu Kahem, Vegor Aleinu Kechol Hamonam, V'anachnu Korim, Umishtachavim Umodim, Lifnei Melech, Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, V'nemar V'haya Adonai, L'melech al kol haaretz, Bayom Ahu, Yeh Adonai Echad, U'shemo Echad. Please close the ark, and everyone can be seated. You stay up there with them. In these moments where family gathers, when we are at such joy, we always remember those who are not with us. And we know that their presence is with us in our hearts and in our minds, that they are the songs that we hear all around this room. And we know that you Goldberg family are thinking of Jerry and of Beth. And we know that their presence, while they may not be here physically, they are here watching over the two of you, Jack and Ari. They are so proud of you, of what you have become and what you are becoming. And so in these moments, we recite Mourner's Kaddish in their memory to bring their spirit to us. If you are in the first 30 days mourning the loss of a loved one, I invite you to please rise at this time. If you're in the first year mourning the loss of a loved one, I invite you to please rise now. And if you are commemorating a yahrzeit, the death anniversary of a loved one around this Shabbat, I invite you to please rise at this time. And if it is your custom to rise as it is here at Temple Emanu-El for Mourner's Kaddish, please do so at this time as we join together in words of Mourner's Kaddish on page 41. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divarach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon u'b'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'yimru.
Amen.
Yehei shmei Rabbah mivarach le'alam u'almei almaya. Yitvarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudesha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imeru. Amen. Please be seated. Actually, you know what? We're going to have everyone standing up as we conclude our service. Everyone, please join the Goldbergs and everyone as we stand and as we raise a glass to the side there for Kiddush.
Can I have one? Thanks.
With a little bit of sweetness adding to this already sweet day.
Oh, you don't.
As we say, I think it's just grape juice. Yeah, it's just grape juice. Oh, yeah. As we join together in the blessing over wine, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pari hagafen, Shabbat shalom. L'chaim.
That's good.
Mazel tov.
Refreshing.
Simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov. Yehelanu, 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 Ulecho Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulecho Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulecho Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulecho Yisrael.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. Mazel tov.
Shabbat shalom.
Thank you.